and welcome back to the channel Behind the Bar. As always, I'm your host, Timmy Tayo. And today we're going to review Man United's victory against Athletic Club, or Athletic Bilbao, in the semifinal of the Europa League, 3-0. And what a performance by the team in this semifinal first leg tie. And so much to unpack. I think in the first 15-20 minutes, the atmosphere was intense. The crowd really brought the energy, and that transferred over to the players. The Bilbao players put so much pressure on United, didn't let them rest on the ball for even a second, and it led to some chances. I think Inaki Williams had a header in the box that, to be fair, he probably should have scored. And then Lindelof as well had a goal line clearance. And then, of course, Garnacho had the ball in the net, which was rightfully ruled offside. And then, of course, Casemiro at the backstick, after great work from Harry Maguire on the right wing, turning his defender inside and out before delivering a great cross, which was flicked on the near post by Manuel Ugarte to the back post, which was converted by Casemiro to put us in the lead. And I think from then on, we kind of controlled the game. Of course, the pivotal moment in the match was the penalty and subsequent red card against Athletic Club, courtesy of Rasmus Højlund getting in front of his defender and getting pulled back. To be fair, I do think the red card was harsh. I think under normal circumstances, you get the penalty and the referee probably doesn't send the player off. But I think if you're looking at the letter of the law, that was a clear denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, dunzo, as they call it. And so technically, the referee had the right to send him off. I think, like I said, under normal circumstances, the referee probably just gives the penalty and maybe a yellow card. But hey, I'm not complaining. Of course, that swung the game in United's favor, and they took full advantage with the third goal. A brilliant flick by Manuel Ugarte to Captain Bruno for his second goal, converted the penalty, obviously, and then a great finish. I do want to give a special shout out to Manuel Ugarte, having 3 assists in his last 2 games. For a player who's renowned for his tenacious work on defense, to contribute 2 assists today, and then again, of course, he had the assist against Bournemouth on Sunday. I think he deserves a special mention for his performance in these last 2 games. But of course, we're going to unpack the game, and I'm going to go over the 5 things that I've taken away having watched Man United secure a famous victory in Bilbao in the first leg of the semifinal. And my first point is United are headed back to Bilbao. A few weeks ago, I made a bold prediction that Man United were destined to win the Europa League title. And I think at the very least, we're going to be going back to that stadium in Bilbao where, well, that's the stadium that's going to host the final, right? And so we have 1 leg in that final with the result today. And I think not that it's necessarily an advantage that the players have played there today and would potentially be going back to that same stadium for the final, but I think it's part of that whole destiny, right? Where you had a great game there today, 3-0, and you potentially get to go back to that stadium again for the final. You take those good vibes, those good memories from today, and and I think fans can start to book their tickets for a return trip to Bilbao. Man United just need to handle their business at Old Trafford in the return leg next week, and we'll be headed back to Spain for the final. My second point is really about the defensive solidity. I talked about that first 15-20 minutes spell that Athletic Club had, where they really pressed and pushed and huffed and puffed, but just couldn't blow us away and get a goal. I think the defense really stood tall. The likes of Euro, Maguire, Lindelof with that goal line clearance, like I said. And I think if you're going to go and win any title, any cup, you have to have a good base. You have to have a solid defense. And I think the team showed that resilience today in a hostile environment with the fans right on top of you, with the team right in your face and pressuring you to stand tall and resist that pressure the way they did, I think is a good foundation for the team to build on going forward with potentially 2 games left to winning the Europa League. And so credit to the entire team, but special mention to the defense and how they rode that wave to stay in the game, to not concede any goal. Because I think that's been our Achilles heel as a team is when the pressure comes, when teams press us, we tend to crumble. We saw that against Bournemouth on Sunday, where similar style, right? Bournemouth presses, and that's exactly where their goal came from. They pressed us on the wing, on the edge of our box. We gave the ball away, gave up a chance, and it was 1-0. And we saw some signs of that today, but like I said, the defense stood tall and were able to resist making those similar errors. My third point, in line with the defense, is Harry Maguire. He is the epitome of character. And I've talked about it on this show multiple times about what he's been through and how he's come through that. And he's enjoying by far his best season as a United player. And I think Amorim even alluded to that after the game about how everything seems to be going right for Maguire, where in the past everything seemed to be going wrong. I think he is a true example of a strong character, someone who has gone through the gauntlet, someone who has taken criticism from an entire country. Really, at some point, it felt like Maguire was the butt of everyone's jokes. I can tell you they're not laughing at him now. I've seen the nicknames circling around social media, Maguire Dino, and I couldn't be happier for him having come through what he's come through and now is shining. Got the winning goal against Lyon and again today with the hockey assist and just a colossal performance spearheading that 3-man central defense right there in the middle of it. And kudos to Maguire, credit to him for, like I said, just being strong-willed and having that strong mentality, trusting in his ability, and the club for supporting him. I think it would have been easy to let him go, and but they kept him, and he's shown that he's been worth the 80 million pounds. I mean, I have to say it. There was a lot of skepticism by the transfer fee, but I think now, with the goals that he's scoring, I think he's good value for that money. I just can't see how I can argue against that at this point. So kudos to you, Harry Maguire, and hopefully you can lead this team to bringing the Europa League back to Manchester. My next point is really about Casemiro and the class of Casemiro. Not too long ago, I think everyone wrote off Casemiro, including myself. And not that I'm changing my mind about the need to sell him this summer, but he's coming close to convincing me otherwise, because the level of performances that we're seeing from Casemiro over these last few months, really since the turn of the year, I think it warrants the conversation as to whether we need to keep him for one more season. Now, of course, when you look at the salary and what that could mean to the salary cap and the space that would leave open to sign new players. Of course, he's 32, 33. I think he probably still needs to go, but I mean, he's going to leave as a legend. Of course, he scored the goal in the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle, and if he's able to guide this team to another cup, I think he'll leave United as a Man United legend. So just class. I mean, even in those first 20 minutes when Bilbao poured the pressure on, I think he and Bruno were the players that stayed composed and sort of helped get the team out of that storm and get us up the pitch and ultimately got the goal to really change the game at the 1-0. And so I can't praise Casemiro enough for his performances and his attitude and a similar character. But I mean, I don't think we can expect anything less from a 5-time Champions League winner with Real Madrid. And so I can't sing his praises enough. And then finally, could it be an all English final in the Europa League? We know in London, Tottenham were able to get past Bodo Glimt 3-1 and are firmly in the driver's seat going into their second leg in Norway. And it's looking like it's going to be an all English final. And I must say that I'm quite wary about that because Tottenham seem to have our number this year. They've beaten us 3 times, twice in the league, and then 1 in the Carabao Cup. They say 3rd time's the charm. I don't know what happens on the 4th time around. We definitely owe them 1, that's for sure. Talking about destiny, Ange Postecoglou famously said that he always wins a trophy in his 2nd season, and one could argue that he's also destined to win the competition. But with them beating Man United 3 times already on the spin, I do think that we owe them 1. And if we do end up meeting them in the final, it's going to be a great game. But of course, we have the second leg to get through. Don't want to look too far ahead. I think Man United just have to put in a professional performance next week at Old Trafford against Athletic Club to see themselves book their place in the final. And what a run it's been. Unbeaten through all the stages of the Europa League. And if we can get a draw at the very least at Old Trafford to make it to the final unbeaten, what a way it would be to win the entire competition without losing a single game. So that's it for me. Thank you guys for tuning in. A wonderful, wonderful victory, wonderful performance, and a wonderful result. Wonderful all around. Thank you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.